Ezechima was a noble, a well-known person, noble or not, proficient and well-known in his tradition as an Igbo man, because he was a proficient traditional medicine man and a metaphysicist. As our history has it, he was one of the best of the time. The next man that matched him was Ezemu, who was equally credited with his own special part of traditional and metaphysical work that has to do with longevity of life, called Idai. Ezemu was known very well to be one of the chiefs or one of the Ezes or Enogis that served or performed for Oba Iwere in the matters of extending longevity, and the rest of Obas after Iwere follow suit. We know that in our history to be true.
When Prince Ephraim, Nwabuokei, Maigbor makes his claims about this lineage, we are not just fact-checking a story, we are interrogating centuries of royal history, migration, and political identity. Eweka I ruled from 12th century AD in 1200 to 1235 AD. He is regarded as the first Oba, king of Benin, the founder of the Oba dynasty. Before that dynasty, what you had was the Ogiso era. Eware I ruled from 1440 AD to 1473 AD. He is often called Eware the Great. There are three salient points that I picked from what he said, and we are going to analyze them one after the other. First of all, he said Chima was a metaphysicist. He said Chima was a spiritualist, noble or not. No, you don't say that, Ephraim. How do you say noble or not for a person who you have already ascertained is noble? A princely bloodline is not something you can wish away. Obaleze, you have said he is a noble person. He is either noble or not. And then you don't just be flippantly calling him Chima, when you know the name is Ezechima. But you have acknowledged, first of all, that he is an Igbo man. And I'm very pleased with that because that is factual. The second point you raised about Ezemu, now when you say noble or not, princely or not, I am by bloodline a descendant, a son of Ezemu directly by right hand, Ezemu Kembo. And you just posited a lot of lies about Ezemu alongside some truth. You can't say one truth and say three lies and we accept them. No, we will call out the lie and accept the truth. Mako wonyo wepo nanu tupu eji eri anu. Ntobene ndi mad na eri nsi anu. Mano wonyo wepo nanu, wonyo eri nanu. Let's point out the truths about what you said. First of all, I have pointed out the truth that you acknowledged that Ezechima is an Igbo man who recoiled back from Benin when he had a problem during the reign of Oba Eware. Now, some Benin historians, people like Chief the Oba of Benin Kingdom, Edisiri, the late Oba of Benin, he believes that it was during the reign of Oba Orobua that Ezechima was invited and made an Iyase of Benin. And that is why the people of that lineage till today are still greeted Lawieze. That aside, you have acknowledged that Ezechima is an Igbo man. Good. You have also acknowledged that he is a very powerful spiritualist, a medicine man, a sorcerer. Good. Whether now, when you now say noble or not, you begin to become mischievous. He is noble. If he is not noble, he will not bear the title Eze. Alright? Now let's come to my father, Ezemu. Ezemu did not reign in the time of Oba Ewuare. No. Ezemu, in fact, according to some Benin historians, is regarded as one of the Ogisos. The history book written by the Benin renowned author Jacob Eyareva regarded him as one of the sons of the Ogisos of Benin. But that is not true. This is to tell you the epoch of Ezemu's reign. Ezemu reigned in Ubulu-Uku as the king of Obolo. Ezobolo is what he was called. Ezemu of Obolo reigned from 12th century. That was during the time of Oba Eweka the first. 12th century. So, you see where you pick the holes. Ezemu's reign, Ezemu's dynasty, his time, his epoch of his reign has no business whatsoever with the time of Oba Ewuare, which is around 14th century, 15th century. Okay? Now, Ezemu's reign was around the 12th century, and that was during the reign of Oba Eweka. So that is the lie that I am puncturing. The truth in what you said is what I have always said. I don't know why people like denying what is obvious. I said that Benin people, the Oba of Benin, will come to Ubulu-Uku and spend 3 days minimum as part of his coronation rites. And that was not because of a Dai. If it is a Dai, we have a specialized lineage from Ubulu-Uku that live in Benin, whose role is to perform these rites for them. But the Oba must come to Ubulu-Uku and spend 3 days. You have acknowledged it in what you said, that we continue that role. In fact, that the Obas after Ewuare continued. It was not Ewuare. It was instituted by Eweka the first. And then after Eweka, everybody continued to come to Ubulu-Uku, including Ewuare himself. And that was why during the reign of the Oba that went to war with Ubulu-Uku, Akembuda, in 1750, some people say Obiolise went to pay homage. No, it was a diplomatic visit. Just like the Obi of Ubulu-Uku visits the Oba of Benin. The Oba of Benin visits Ubulu-Uku on a diplomatic visit. So, the Oba of Benin comes to Ubulu-Uku, and you have rightly acknowledged that. And also acknowledge the fact that every Oba after Ewuare, according to you, but I'm telling you now that it wasn't Ewuare, it was after Eweka, because it was Eweka that became the first Oba. Eweka instituted it, and it continued even until this day. And I have pictures to show. In some of my videos that I have put out here, I have posted pictures in this era of photography of Obas of Benin who have visited Ubulu-Uku for their rites. This present Oba of Benin has not visited Ubulu-Uku, and the reasons are very obvious. Because our own community has its own internal political, traditional political issues to deal with. So, there are some things you say right and some things you say wrong. This is just to make this very clear that my ancestor, Ezemu, was never in any way subservient to the Oba of Benin. And then secondly, whether it is a slip of tongue or you are deliberately once again being mischievous, what do you mean Enoge? We are not a vassal kingdom to Benin. It is on record. You can type it in your phone now. Adesuwa War or Ubulu-Uku versus Benin War. We were never a vassal kingdom to Benin. We went to war against the Oba of Benin. So how do you call our king Enoge? Enoge means duke. How do you refer to the Obi of Ubulu-Uku as Enoge? All you people that want to associate yourself or link yourself back to Benin, I have no issues with you at all. The problem is you trying to drag in ancient kingdoms alongside you. Ubulu-Uku, Obolo Kingdom is older than Benin Kingdom. Hear that again and again. I said Obolo Kingdom is older than Benin. Because when you go back to when Oromia now returned, Kalade gave birth to a son whose name is Izodua. Izodua now turned to Odudua. Whatever names is being mispronounced, as you said, or corrupted. Those were the eras that they founded Benin. By then, Ubulu-Uku was already established, Obolo Kingdom. We call it Ubulu-Uku today, but it was Obolono Ubulu-Uku, and Ubulu-Kiti. And Ubulu is the foundation of so many communities, even across the eastern Niger. That is why I mock people who say we are not Igbo. Because no fewer than 20 communities across the river Niger migrated from Ubulu-Uku. While there are existing lineages in Ubulu-Uku that crossed the river Niger from Benin Kingdom and settled in Ubulu-Uku, even before Ezemu got to Ubulu-Uku. So Igbo-Bofu. But what I'm trying to point out here, Prince Ephraim, Nwabuokei, Maigbor, I don't know since when you added Maigbor to your name. But Prince Ephraim, Nwabuokei, note this and note it very well, that Ubulu-Uku is older than Benin. In fact, as a son of Ezemu, I have to trace myself back to Ezemu so that you will understand. Let me mention the monarchical order of kings of Ubulu for you, so that you will understand. Ezemu ruled Ubulu-Uku from 1201 to 1288. That was before Eweka even became Oba of Benin. Ozimegu, the child of Ezemu, became king, a female king, because Ozimegu is a woman. The first son died. The first son's name is Ijedinka, died during a battle. And then he commissioned the daughter as an Idebe, a female man. She passed the rites of passage, of transmission into manhood, and she became a female man and gave birth to children. That is why I can say I am an Ozim today, because of this Ozim. Because we came from the dynasty of a woman, Ozim. So we are Ozim. We are the kingmakers, even until this day. I can become Diopalo Ozim if I get to that old age. Now, Ozim gave birth to Ojebalu. Ojebalu ruled from 1296 to 1341. Then he gave birth to Obiawale. We all know these people, their lineages till today. Obiawale is the father of all the people in Oba today. We greet them afar. Awale gave birth to Ubulu-Beleme. Ubulu-Beleme gave birth to Ba-Beleme, gave birth to Oshai. Oshai gave birth to Shieze. Shieze gave birth to Diabo. Diabo gave birth to Obi-Izabo. Izabo gave birth to Obi-Obori. Obi-Obori gave birth to Enali. Enali gave birth to Obi-Olise. Obi-Olise is directly the father of Obi-Diese. Diese is the father of Obi-Ojuko. Ojuko gave birth to Ojuko Nwobi. Ojuko Obi is the father of 7 sons. But let me link it to mine. The name of my own father is Ojuko Obi. Ojuko Obi gave birth to Oshuleze. Oshuleze gave birth to Masha. Masha gave birth to Onwode. Onwode gave birth to Ogochukwu. Ogochukwu is my own father. So you see me tracing myself back to Ezemu's dynasty. Now, Jeboma was a regent of my great-great-grandfather, Ojuko Obi. Now, that is how our kingship went into regency. It left the royal bloodline of Ezemu into regency. We now have Jeboma, who is the same as Obi-Ogene. His title was Obi-Ogene, and he married a Benin woman and gave birth to a son called Usifo. Usifo gave birth to Obi-Ubomo. Ubomo gave birth to Nwaje. Nwaje gave birth to Obanwa. The name Obanwa came from when Ovoranwe was dethroned and sent away from Benin Kingdom to exile. He came to Ubulu-Uku and tarried for a while before proceeding to Calabar, where he eventually died. Did you hear that? That is why when he was escorted away from Ubulu-Uku to Ishagu, where he boarded the canoe that took him all the way to Calabar, when the king was going to take his title, he said, "Name me Obi-Oba Noa." That let the king come back. Let the king return. Oba Noa. So the name Oba Noa is still in existence today in Ubulu-Uku. Then Oba Noa gave birth to Okonkwo Ofulue. Okonkwo Ofulue gave birth to Chukwuyem Ofulue. And it continues that way. This is the kingship of Ubulu-Uku Kingdom. As at 14th century, when Ewuare was king of Benin, the person ruling Ubulu-Uku as at then was Babeleme. We have already had our 5th king. So Ubulu-Uku is not in the same age or epoch with your hometown of Onicha-Olona. Ubulu-Uku has well been established before Onicha-Olona and the rest, and before those who came back with Ezechima. This is why in our history, the king who interacted with Obi of Ubulu-Uku in Ubulu-Uku history is Obi-Ojuko, not Ezemu. Obi-Ojuko here is like the 12th king of Ubulu-Uku. He was the one who interacted with Olibo, the last male child of Ezechima. This is pure history. And this is me telling you the story of my community as I have it in the palm of my hand, from oral history and from published works. This document I read earlier is from the Sociology of Ubulu-Uku, published in 2005. I also have another one here, the story of Benin Kingdom, published in 2017. So, the history of Ubulu-Uku, the history of my community is thoroughly documented. It is not something you can change with just one press statement. And luckily for us, we have a platform and we have a son like myself from the royal family who can debunk these lies. Thanks for watching this very beautiful video. My name once again is Prince Owode Ngozi Chukwuka Fortune. I will see you in my subsequent videos. Bye!